Nestled in the heart of West Sussex, Leonardslee Garden comes alive in late spring with a spectacular explosion of color. From the air, you can see the winding paths weaving through brilliant displays of rhododendrons and azaleas. This is nature and man's artistry at its finest, a botanical masterpiece painted in every color of pink, purple, red, and gold. Hi, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Mac here, and today I'm at Leonardslee Garden down south of London to explore the rhododendron and azalea collection because they're in bloom right now. Mid-spring is the perfect time to get out and see these flowers at their best. They're blooming now and I want to show them to you, so let's go and explore Leonardslee Garden. So this garden is not just rhododendrons and azalea. You can see here is a magnificently large camellia. Actually, there's two. I love that beautiful pale pink color as well as the darker pink, classic camellia colors. And I see other rhododendrons. These are large. They're not blooming right now, but rhododendrons can get this large. There's some really large specimens. Look at the size of some of these. You can tell these plants are very old. This garden was lost and found over a couple centuries, and it's been refurbished and brought back, and it's been reintroduced to the public here just in the last few years. Now, this is a beautiful color, this pale pink, which is very vibrant, but the yellow above it is, wow, that is an impressive color and fragrant. I can smell this tree, it's so beautiful. It's lovely the way they've incorporated a lot of sculptures along the paths. So there's more to see than just the azaleas and rhododendrons and other camellia, other shrubs. There are a lot of sculptures here. And I love that dog in the background. It just almost looks real. A little underfed, but it looks great. Now these azalea are in complete full bloom. It looks just like a pillow of azalea. You can't even see a leaf. It is so covered in a mass of blooms. That's a beautiful ball of yew rolling right into another bed of azalea. This appears to be one plant. There are multiple plants to create this visual spectacle of vibrant color. And I love these blooms. They're small and tight. That is a common hallmark of azalea. Their blooms are smaller than the rhododendrons, but they are in the same family. There are some separating differences. Many azalea can be deciduous or evergreen. More rhododendrons tend to be evergreen, but they can also be deciduous, a few. But the blooms, small and tight, really impressive on these. And you can see one of these is not quite blooming just yet. This darker red isn't, but I love the way this pink is starting to just blend into this red. Those colors blending together create quite a visual appeal. Leonardslee Garden was first established in 1801 by Sir Edmund Loder, a passionate plant collector and horticulturalist. Tucked away in the rolling hills of West Sussex, the historic estate became a famous and stunning collection of rhododendron and azalea, magnolia, and other rare trees from around the world. Sir Edmund transformed this small corner of Sussex into a botanical wonderland, designing valley gardens and ornamental lakes, and even introducing wallabies to the grounds. In this section of the garden, there are many more azalea, which are beautiful flowers and shrubs. So there are many more azalea growing here in this section than I see rhododendrons. Although ahead of me, I see some really large and old rhododendrons, but the azalea are really shining through. So I recently went on a trip to find some bluebells like this, and this is a native British bluebell because you can see all of the flowers coming up one side. The Spanish bluebells, the flowers come off all the sides all the way around. So this is a native flower. But I went recently to find some of these, and I found a magnificent display of them. Check out the videos on the channel. But that made me think about, well, what else is blooming at this time of year? And that's when I found Leonardslee here south of London because of the magnificent rhododendron and azalea collection that they have also in bloom. Not quite peak just yet, maybe another week or two, so I may make it back. I don't know, it's quite a drive from home, but I wanted to get down here and check it out, and I'm really glad I came down today because there's not a lot of people here, but the blooms are still magnificent, although it's not peak. And here is a broader selection of rhododendron. On this side, we have the azalea, and you can tell that this is going to be a nice purplish color, and that one's not blooming yet. But here at these rhododendron, again, the rhododendron have the broader leaves, tend to be larger plants, but you see here, they're blooming. I love this red. That is such a vibrant color, and I'm seeing a lot of bees here, which is not surprising at all. There has to be a lot of fragrance coming off of all of these plants, especially to the bees. A long-lived plant. Some can live as long as 100 years or even up to 150 years of age. So some of these larger ones have really been here for quite a while. Oh, look at this. It's just a fuchsia, so vibrant. These azalea are really peak coloration and just so vibrant. The colors almost, I'm sure, can't even translate, but what I'm seeing is just stunning. I think these are the most vibrant fuchsia, bright colored azalea I've ever seen. The color is almost unreal. The way it's glowing. It is so vibrantly colored. Here's an unusual color, a lot of purples and pinks and reds, but look at this peachy, creamy orange. truly an abundance of blooms. I've never seen this many rhododendrons bloom, and I know they have them around a lot of golf courses, but this is impressive beyond anything I've ever seen or witnessed in person myself. I really love the purple. This is a beautiful azalea. I would love to add it to my collection. I think it may be a rhododendron though. The leaves look a little more leathery, but this purple just really jumps out at me. You just don't see this color very often. Not in rhododendron or azalea form. I really like the elevation changes here in the rock garden. It gives you that opportunity to go up and down, and you can see and observe the plants from above, which gives you an entirely different view of the tapestry of colors down below you. Well, this is impressive, going under this large U and popping out to all this color on the other side. So with everything that I have seen, I was not expecting to see strawberries as a part of the undergrowth here, but there are a lot of little strawberries blended in with everything else, just adding a little perks and peaks of color and variety. You're always looking for the things that are different, and sometimes you'll find them. And look at this pale yellow. That is absolutely different than all the other colors that I've seen thus far. Spent a lot of time in the rock garden, but let's move along and see what else we can find here. This is a massive garden, and I want to enjoy as much as I can. The rock garden was very impressive with so many plants tucked in with the height elevations. But let's see what else we can find here. There should be quite a few more rhododendron and azalea. Although I came to the garden for the rhododendron and azalea, there is also a camellia walk, and you can see a lot of the camellia blooming. So let's go over there and check that section out next. These are more really large rhododendron, and these are not blooming at all yet. They're just starting to open up. But look at the color of this orange azalea right here. Wow, that is so vibrant. I always love seeing tree ferns, especially this one. You can tell this is an old tree fern. You can tell by the height. They don't add much height each year, but this is a very tall tree fern There's some other tropical palms here as well, standing even taller than the rhododendrons, high up in the air. Just an impressive old section of a garden here. I came to this garden because I was enthusiastic about seeing rhododendrons. I knew that they had some camellia here and azalea, but there are also wallabies, and I was not so much expecting to see them, but yeah, here they are. Nice little wallabies. Wallabies amongst the rhododendrons. You maybe can't make them out in there because they're brown and they're not moving, but there are several what look like tiny kangaroos, but wallabies. It's a nice extra exhibit here for the garden. The kids enjoy this section. In another couple of weeks, this section, when all these taller rhododendrons are blooming and the azalea here are blooming, wow, this is going to be such a vibrant section of the garden as soon as everything here is in bloom, but not quite today. After a closure, Leonardslee reopened in 2019, fully restored, and once again a must-see for garden lovers, nature fans, and anyone who wants to experience the magic of England in full bloom. That is a very unique sculpture, and it is quite large. Rhododendron massed all around the side of the home with some azalea, and then here on the other side, they've put in a beautiful vineyard. Here's some of these rhododendron in the lower section of the garden. These are blooming. Just a mass of color down below me. Leonardslee House is a restored 19th century Italian manor at the heart of the gardens. Once the home to the Loder family, and now hosts fine dining, luxury stays, and art exhibits. And this is a deciduous azalea. You can see it's just starting to put leaves back on. The blooms actually came out before the leaves. Spanning 240 acres, the gardens offer a diverse landscape of woodlands, lakes, and meticulously curated gardens. The trails and paths flow endlessly across the entire space. The gardens feature an extensive collection of sculptures. A highlight is the Walk of Life by Alton Smith. This outdoor exhibition showcases over 80 monumental sculptures by the South African artist, marking his first major showcase in the UK. The pieces are thoughtfully placed throughout the woodland, inviting visitors on a journey of self-exploration and discovery as they explore the gardens. Whether you're an art enthusiast, a gardener, horticulturalist, or even just a casual visitor, the fusion of art and horticulture at Leonardslee Garden provides a captivating experience that celebrates creativity amid nature's splendor. Wow, this is a large specimen here. That is a lot of yellow. There's so much artwork here and sculptures all intermingled with the flowers. It is really captivating. You can tell they poured a lot of energy into making this garden something special, really an experience to explore. This is one of the taller azalea. I've seen a lot of tall rhododendron. This is a really tall azalea here. I mean, it's just this variety. I'm not normally seeing this particular variety of this height. Of course, it's deciduous yellow. This is growing really well. I see a lot of that. More of the classic azalea You can find this one in a lot of your garden centers, a lot of places, but this is a beautiful selection. You can really tell that this is an old garden. There are several what appear to be either American redwood or sequoia tucked in amongst the trees here, and those are all pretty large. I think they're probably at least a couple hundred years old, and they can live to be up to about 2,000 years, so they're going to get quite a bit larger as time progresses and this garden continues to get older. Here we are just under a lot of very old rhododendron, so those are going to be blooming above me. You can see here there are some beautiful lilac blooms above me. Can't see them from below. I don't know if I'd be able to get up high and see these blooms from above. I'm really impressed with the size of the garden, as well as the absolute amount of rhododendron and azalea that are here. I was expecting a few, but I was not expecting the true abundance that is in this garden. And here's a section down below me, all filled in down to the lakes down below. This garden is so large that even though there are a lot of people here, you can really get off to yourself, get separated out away from everyone else, and just feel very one with nature. It has a bit of a nature walk type feel, especially as you go down these longer paths. I really appreciate the fact that you're not cramped and crowded, and you can really explore, and they put in beautiful paths, well graded paths to really help you explore the entire garden. Again, more rhododendrons high above my head, and now walking in the undergrowth under the larger trees. This is an old section of garden, and there is another one of those American redwood or sequoia. Actually, I see two of those towering above all the other trees in the area. As time goes on, they will continue to get larger until they truly dwarf everything around them. Now, look at the bark on that rhododendron. It's just kind of glowing bronze. It's probably because children have been climbing on it, but it's a nice color. There's so many different paths that you can take as you just walk your way and work your way across the garden. And here's another selection of purple. This garden was lost in time, and I could tell a lot of these rhododendrons and azalea, they just happen to be really old. There's some camellia mixed in down here. But if you had other trees and plants growing in and around them, and there's a lot of ways you wouldn't even notice them. They've got in and they've ripped everything else out, and the older plants are still here. But I could see a situation to where if you had a lot of undergrowth, you wouldn't recognize this garden for everything that it is. As I head into the older sections of the garden, the rhododendrons are really starting to outshine the azalea, especially on this end of the garden. Wow, look at this tree. But they're more spaced out, so you're not seeing them as tightly packed in together. But they are ranging from here all the way to the trails down below me. So this would be quite the walking experience to continue to walk through this garden. And here's another massive, that is clearly a redwood. And look at the trunk of that. Wow, that was the largest one I've seen thus far. We'll run out of daylight, I think, before we run out of garden and azaleas to see. There's just so much here, and there's so many This was truly a labor of love to have amassed such a massive collection of rhododendron and azalea. In the 1850s, Charles Beauclerk introduced 9 giant sequoias to Leonardslee Garden using seedlings from Kew Garden. These are among the oldest specimens of sequoia in the United Kingdom. The tallest straight species giant sequoia Leonardslee was measured at 43 meters tall in 2019. Although the height is impressive, it should be noted that the sequoia Leonardslee are still young. The tallest sequoia in the United States is over 116 meters tall. Wandering the winding trails of Leonardslee Garden feels like stepping into a living painting, with every turn and path revealing beautiful bark and trees, towering trees, bursts of color from rhododendrons and azalea. But the walk is also peaceful. The only sound is the sound of birds, a soft breeze through the leaves, and a gentle crunch of gravel underfoot. As the trails get tighter and nature presses in around you, the stillness captivates you and reconnects you to nature. This is an expansive garden that just keeps going and going and going. Unfortunately, I do believe I'm pretty much out of time here today. I may have to come back on another day and give myself 4 or 5 hours or longer, maybe 5, 6 hours to truly explore this whole space. Azalea and camellia blending in together beautifully. On this end of the garden, trails are a little rougher. You can tell they're definitely taking care of it, but you can also definitely see that it's not quite as well developed as some of the other aspects of the garden. I'm trying to get back to one of the main trails now so I can start heading out. Here we are. Here we are back on one of the main paths. And let's begin to work our way back out of the garden. Now, this is an impressive white, creamy white bloom. I like that a lot. That one's big and blousy. This is a really impressive garden. Let me give you my take on it. You have to come and see it now, really this time of year, mid-spring, while everything is blooming. As impressive as it is, if you're here and everything is not blooming, it's just going to be beautiful and green. But the camellia, some of them may bloom in the fall, most of them are blooming now. The rhododendron and azalea, they're all predominantly blooming now. Some of them may rebloom in the fall. So you have to talk to and really check out with the staff to see what's blooming. But right now is when this garden is peak. This time of year, that's when you should come see it. Leonardslee is a year-round garden with early spring having daffodil and crocus leading you into the bluebells, followed by the rhododendron and azalea blooms. That's of course going to fall into summer with the hydrangea and other flowers that are there through the summer months. It is a beautiful garden that you can go and visit year-round. Here's another one of those massive redwoods. This is sequoia. Okay, there's a sequoia. Still a very large tree, and there's several of them in this garden. All right, we're leaving the wilder end of the garden. I'm starting to hear people again, so coming back to what I call civilization. Wow, look at that. Beautiful orange. This vibrant fuchsia directly behind me. These yellows, I just love the yellow color. It's pale yellow. This azalea is so pretty. So that was a walkthrough of the Leonardslee Garden, and it was a perfect time to go through it. Everything wasn't quite peak, but those things will all bloom at different times. Those rhododendrons and azaleas will never all bloom at exactly the same time. Hey, if you like this content, be sure to like, subscribe, follow along. Tell me which part you like the most, and until next time, take care.